Hello and welcome to our quick intro video of what it's like to onboard at SupplyCompass. I'm joined today by Shrishti, who is our Chief Customer Officer, who is in charge of the entire onboarding experience and making sure that SupplyCompass is successfully adopted across your business. She is an expert in doing this, has done this with dozens of brands at SupplyCompass, and prior to this, many brands of different sizes using very different systems to ours, some legacy PLMs out there and other tools that probably don't exist anymore. So welcome, Shrishti. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm really excited to share how we onboard people onto SupplyCompass.
Fabulous. We've got a little presentation that we'll just be basically having a loose conversation so you can understand how Shrishti does it through kind of every step, and a little intro to the team who will be supporting. So I will start sharing. Do you want to give us a bit of intro into your background?
Sure. So the SupplyCompass team is me and 3 other people, as you can see on this slide. In terms of my own experience, I have 15 years of experience in the fashion industry. I've worked in manufacturing and retail and consulting. And one of the key sort of threads of commonality in that is that I've actually helped businesses, large and small, with implementation of technology, especially in the back end and in fashion, which is not very, it hasn't been popular till date because of legacy systems that have just been clunky for design and creative team.
I think where you and the team really excel is understanding how a business operates. So, every brand is a bit different. Every onboarding journey looks different. And because you've got this expertise across very different size businesses, you actually understand how to make it most successful, I'd say. Shall we get into onboarding unpacked? So this section really is just to take you through a little bit of what those first few months look like after kind of signing up to SupplyCompass. So this is just a simple flow diagram of the phases of onboarding. It doesn't mean that everything sticks religiously to what you're looking at here, but just the general phases through kind of onboarding through to kind of actually properly rolled out across your team. Do you want to just give a quick summary of what that looks like, Shrishti?
Sure. With the mapping and the team introductions, really, what we're trying to do is really understand what the business needs are, how they currently work, and where SupplyCompass will deliver value. One of the interesting things we find during the mapping sessions is when the whole team is there and saying, this is how we do it, this is how I do it, etc. And you list out the number of sheets, people are like, oh my God.
I'm going to go into that actually, just while we're here. So
yes, you'll get reactions in terms of, I can't believe you're doing the process like this. So you get immediate value from day one because you're like, okay, this is how our process looks. And do we really need that step? So even before you've gone onto the platform, because you can see it laid out, like these are the number of sheets for this one step, teams start questioning, do we really need to do it there and there and there?
So the second phase is setup and data transfer. I'm actually just going to go into this image so that we can kind of visualize what we really mean by this. So yeah, Shrishti, do you want to kind of introduce this part?
Yeah. So what we see is when brands come to SupplyCompass, they have all of this information sitting in lots of different documents, right? Like the material that their current material systems, it could even be physical libraries sometimes. So really the idea is of digitizing all that information and giving brands access to all of that digitized for them when they start using SupplyCompass. So our team will send across templates in terms of this is the material upload template, this is the color palette, etc. And brands fill that out for us and we upload all that information for them on the system. So when they're setting up their styles, they no longer have to worry about, oh no, we don't have that material, that we can use, etc. So it's already set up for you.
So you've gone through the mapping of the process, understanding the business, you've met every team, you've then set up all of the data in the platform. Train. This is the third part.
Yeah, and this is when the how-to element of the platform really comes into place. So what we do as part of training as well is, in each session we give a product walkthrough. So it's not just hey, how do I build a style? It's also, we've thought about, this is how you currently are doing your style. So it could be, in the mapping process, we'll know whether you're using Excel, Adobe Illustrator, whatever that is. And the team will then say, okay, based on how you're currently doing it, this is how we advise you do it. And then we do the how to at the back of that. So really it's about taking your current existing ways of working and then showing how you can get to value on the platform. There are a number of things that we've got going in our training and learning, and this really is driven by learning styles. So some of our brands, they want to learn in situ. So we have like a learning center on the platform where you can go, and no matter where you are on the platform, you have access to videos, GIFs, articles, whatever your style is. Like, I was having a conversation with Philip and he's like, I hate watching videos. And I'm like, me too, I like GIFs. So it really depends on what your style is, right? So we cater to all sorts of styles. So we have these video libraries, etc. But we also respect and are available for teams who don't want to do any of that and want live training sessions. So really it's to cater to different types of, learning styles that we have all of these different ways to learn.
And I think it's kind of worth saying that this is something that you're constantly adding to. I think maybe a year ago, we maybe had 2 out of 4 of these blocks sitting in front of us. And I think there's so many awesome new tools that are appearing out there. For instance, we use Loom to do custom recorded videos, and we can then snippet that up through an app called Grain. And so there's lots of ways that we can get information to brands in the way that makes most sense. We totally understand that everyone's busy. And so it's like, how quickly and easily can you get that information in front of them? One thing, I suppose, just like sometimes people have these questions of like, how do you get in touch with the team? So we say we've got a dedicated support and help center here. We have brands who are our customers all over the world. How do you kind of accommodate for people being in different locations? There's so many more remote teams. People are moving here, there, and everywhere. How does that work in onboarding?
I think the benefit of being a technology business is that you are global from day one, right? Like, we have brands we work with in the US on the West Coast, as well as the East Coast. We have brands in Australia that we're currently working with. You name any destination in the world, we have that time zone kind of covered, right?
All of the factories in the different locations doing onboarding,
Exactly. And so I think with that, what we've done is, we have a really strong onboarding plan in place. We also cater to different learning styles. So like, how are we providing help in situ on the platform? When are we scheduling the live onboarding calls where more team members potentially have to be part of, etc. So we cater to different learning styles. We offer a lot of help and support in the platform. And then for technical issues as well, we have offices in Asia that can help with overcoming some of those technical difficulties if that's what the brand is facing and need more immediate support. But if it's more consultative and it can, the UK team is getting involved, then we'll have those scheduled at a time that works for both parties, essentially.
I think it's probably worth adding that actually, if I go back to this little diagram here, is how, like, the reason why we exist is to do things differently than the businesses and platforms, legacy systems has done before us. And we've designed the platform to have very clean and clear workflows. It's easy to find stuff, and we measure success on the few, like, not having to do so many onboarding sessions in person and that self-learning style. We are there to use it, but there to be used, but we're not, it's not compulsory. There's not this like 4-month-long configuration process. How would you say you've seen a lot of our current customers go through that journey in onboarding with us as a team versus like the self-learning?
I think one of the points you made there, Flora, is really important to actually highlight, which is our product itself, right? Like, SupplyCompass is very visual and it's easy to navigate. If you see some of the, and I'm not trying, like, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but like, if you see some of the
don't name names, you don't need to name names.
No, if you see some of the competitor products, the reason why onboarding takes long is the product itself, right? So we've kind of got that working for us in our favor in a way. In terms of the brands we interact with, what we find is our training sessions are really an opportunity for us to collaboratively discuss your workflows and show you what we think like a product walks through essentially. With the training, like how do I set this up or how do I do this? A lot of brands we've come across really do prefer to learn in situ on the platform, send us a Loom video or send us, show us where to go to find that information. I think the training sessions really are an opportunity for us to have a collaborative discussion to understand your processes and show you how we would set up the platform for you.
Product launches, this is just a little one from me in here that we launch new features generally every 2 to 3 weeks. You'll get an email direct from me that comes out to talk you through the highlights. There's then a link on the website, on the platform, which links you through to new product releases where you can see. So this is a screenshot of that page. We have images, lots of GIFs again, and it will pop up on the platform. Also, another little, there's me double on the screen. I conduct kind of multiple rounds of customer research as we launch new features. So you'll hear from me if you want to be part of that. It's not compulsory. It's for those who want to feed in to what we build.